Hello everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Stamp Set Sunday. My name is Brenda Labataglia and this is Means Artful Inspirations. For those of you who are new to my channel, Stamp Set Sunday is where we usually take one stamp set and we make 5 projects. The idea behind the projects for this week stemmed from a project that our team decided we wanted to do, was to create a couple of 3D pieces or non-card. Most of the time we come on here and we make cards, but I wanted to show you how to expand stamping and the use of your paper products and punches so you can make some cute gift bags and cute boxes, and even silverware wraps for table decor. We did make a couple of cards. I'm going to show you those here in just a little minute, but I wanted to tell you that we did use 2 stamp sets for these projects. One, because the Botanical Blooms has no words. And there are many of Stampin' Up! Stamp sets that don't have words. And then, like the One Big Meaning, there is no background stamps. Now, that's not to say you can't use words for backgrounds. We didn't do it here, but it's just as easy to take any number of the sentiments here and just stamp them randomly on some plain cardstock and you have created yourself background. But again, we didn't do that on these projects, but I did want to mention that to you. For those of us who are cost-conscious crafters, it is the purpose for Stamp Set Sunday to show you that you can get a lot of value out of one stamp set. So if you find a stamp set that you absolutely love, or 2 or 3 stamp sets that you want to purchase throughout a year or several months, you know that you can come here to Stamp Set Sunday and find projects that you will be able to do for your crafting. So again, we used One Big Meaning for our words for this particular Stamp Set Sunday, and we used Botanical Blooms. Botanical Blooms comes with coordinating dies, and that is the Botanical Builders, and this is chock full of flowers, leaves, centers. We used several of these for the projects moving forward. You can use these coordinated with some of these stamps, or you can use them without, as we're going to show you here in a minute. Alright. Before I show you the projects, I do want to show you that Stampin' Up! Does sell an envelope punch board, gift pack. So we used the gift bag. This is found on 184 of the 2016-2017 annual catalog. So we sell a gift bag punch board, an envelope punch board, and then the gift box punch board. These aren't very clear. It's not auto-focusing for us. There we go. Get something dark in here, and it might. So that's that. Let me just set that aside. So here we have made a gift box. We colored our own ribbon. We used the Botanical Builder to build our flower. And sentiment from the One Big Meaning. And then we made a gift bag. This one's a small one, but you can make any size on the gift bag. You can put just a couple of goodies in there. And then we've made, I should have put some silverware in here. Got napkin. With Thanksgiving is coming up, and some of us want to add a little something to our table decor. And it's just wrapped, tied together with some ribbon, and then we just made flowers. Okay. This one is a fun fold, tied together a little bit with the ribbon. Just pop this ribbon off here like that. And down here at the bottom, put that up there. It opens here and here. Nice little fun fold. We're going to show you how to do this. Bring that back together like that. Isn't that fun? It's kind of fun. I'm going to pop that ribbon. Doesn't really stay closed without a ribbon around the bottom there. There's that. And then last is another top folding card. And I got to tell you a little story behind this one. My grandson, he was in here, and he wanted to know what I was doing, and I showed him what I was doing. And he thought, one, that this paper behind here, this is from the Moroccan Designer Series paper, and he thought, gosh, if I put this whole piece of cardstock here all whole, that we wouldn't be able to see so much of this pretty Moroccan paper behind here. So I used that one die to die cut the side of the paper that's in the Botanical Builders. Die cut floral. This is the floral medallion. And then inside, top folding card. Some ruched ribbon. I used the Wink of Stella. Okay, so these are the 5 projects that you are going to see being made. I'm going to pop this here. We are in just a few minutes. If you have any questions, be sure to leave me a message in the comment sections below in the video, or you can visit me on the blog at memesartfulinspiration.com, where a full set of instructions with pictures will be located for your use. Okay, be right back with a full tutorial of all of the projects. Alright, so the first project is a gift box. For this particular gift box, we chose an 8x8 sheet of Designer Series paper. On the punch board, you're just going to follow the instructions. It's very self-explanatory. For the 8x8, the start line is the large, and then the diagonal line is the small, and you see me trying to determine where those lines are and where the punches are. And you just follow the instructions down. So the instructions are real quickly. Select the box size and trim the paper according to the instructions. You're going to align the left edge to the small, medium, or large, and you're going to punch and score. Rotate your paper and repeat steps 4 and 5, and then you're going to use the reverse punch that creates the slits on the corner. That's where the box is going to connect together. The important thing to remember here is to punch each place that it tells you to punch, and you can see the diagram on the punch board. Be sure to include all of the punches and to include all of the score lines. This is going to ensure that you are able to put your box together with ease. And now that everything's punched and scored, you are simply going to use your fast fuse and your bone folder that is included with the punch board. Crease all of the lines And you can see putting the boxes together are relatively easy. And this punch board can be used for a number of different sized boxes. Goes all the way up to 10.2 inches by 10.2 inches by 10.2 inches. That's the largest box. You're going to need paper size of 30.5 inches to get a box that size, but it's doable. Using my fast fuse to adhere all of the inside corners. What would be even more cute is if you had two-sided designer series paper. You could have decor on the inside of the box and decor on the outside of the box. I chose to use the foil paper from the Affectionately Yours designer series paper, which happens to be just single-sided. Alright, so we used Delightful Dijon and we colored our own ribbon. We used the scallop topper punch to create our banner with the sentiment. Super easy to do. We also used the botanical builders to punch the paper. Using the mini glue dots, we're just putting the flowers together, and we used the white pearl for the center. Put the flower on with the Stampin' Dimensional, and there you have a gift box handmade for a gift for a friend or a loved one. Alright, there is project number 1. Alright, so the gift bag punch, again, all of the directions are on the gift bag punch, so it's real easy to just follow the instructions to create either a small, a medium, or a large. Small 10-inch bag, medium, where you're going to trim your paper to 10 inches, 11 inches, or 12 inches, and then you're going to trim the length anywhere between 4 and 12 inches. That creates the height of the bag. Just follow the instructions that are included on your punch board. And again, it's very crucial to score at every location and punch at every location so that you can put your gift bags together with ease. I was having a little bit of difficulty there with the punch itself. I had to give it a little bit of grease later on after I finished with the project to get it working. That's why it went off screen there a little bit. Alright, because I chose a smaller bag, I chose the A Little Thanks sentiment from the stamp set, the One Big Meaning stamp set. And I also used our Pear Pizzazz and the Peekaboo Peach from the In Color 2017 In Color to create the flowers. I also used the ruched ribbon to as the bag closure, which I will show you here in just a little bit in the photo at the end. Here we're stamping the sentiment on a sheet of Whisper White, using the triple banner punch to create the banner. I used a pokey tool just to poke a small hole in the top corner of the banner so that I could adhere some of our silver metallic thread to tie it to the ruched ribbon that's being used to keep the bag closed. Right there. I'm going to tie some of the silver metallic ribbon. I'm sorry, I used the gold. Either would have been okay. Using the gold. I used white pearl for the center of the flower. And again, used the Botanical Builder dies to create the floral decoration for the bag. And I also, for the designer series paper, I used the fruit stand. I chose the peach. Super pretty. This is a two-sided designer series paper. There's peaches and pears and strawberries in that designer series paper pack. That's super cute. Could be used for anything. And I thought it quite appropriate for Thanksgiving theme. There you see we've used the ruched ribbon and the Peekaboo Peach, which coordinates with the Fruit Stand Designer Series paper quite nicely. It's the great thing about Stampin' Up! Products. So everything is so coordinated for you already. Takes all the guesswork out, helps you to create things with ease. Here you go, project number 2. Alright, so our third project is a fun fold card. You're going to need 2 sections of 5.5 by 11 sheets. Here we're using designer series paper Moroccan from the Moroccan paper stack. You're going to score each of those sheets at 5.5, and you are going to adhere the 2 insides with your snail. You're going to diagonally score from the outside corner to the inside corner so that you can create an up fold on one side and a down fold on the opposite side. So you want to be sure that you score from the outside corner to the inside where it's scored at 5.5. I hope that is easy enough. So you can see there, one folds up, one folds down, so that you create a 5.5 by 5.5 card. The inside card is 5.25 by 5.25, and we used Very Vanilla there. And that's where we stamp our sentiment, and I also stamped some of the one of the stamps from the botanical blooms. You'll see that here in a minute. So to create some of the embellishments for the front of this card, sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself. So you're just going to use some snail adhesive to adhere those flaps down and to adhere the 5.25 by 5.25 the Very Vanilla on the inside. And you do want to use your bone folder and really give these a good crease. However, because of the thickness, you are going to want to some way use some ribbon to be able to hold this card closed. As you saw in the introduction, we used it on the very far left-hand side of the card. So as I said in the introduction, you can use some stamping along with the botanical builders, and that's what we're doing here. We're using Cajun Craze, which is a nice fall color. I was just stamping so that we could use the botanical builders to die cut some of the floral embellishments for the front of the card. I also use Dapper Denim without any stamping. Using some of the centers to stamp insides of the flowers. It's a very fun stamp set, the Botanical Blooms. Alright, so here you can see we're back. We've got everything all cut. You also see that I'm just snipping some of the Stampin' Dimensionals. I waste absolutely nothing. I use every single piece of the Stampin' Dimensionals, not just those that are cut for me. Waste nothing. Using the bone folder to give your flowers some curve and just placing them on your card. Now here we're using the Botanical Blooms, but you could use any of your designer series paper. If you've got butterflies, our butterfly thinlits, you could put butterflies on here. We've got a new bird die cut and stamp set. Florals and birds. How cute would that be on a card like this? Now we don't do that here, but if you had the envelope builder, punch board, you would want to make a specialty envelope. This is a 5.5 by 5.5 card, and you could make a coordinating envelope for this card if you had the envelope punch board. Using some of our rhinestones and pearls, I added some centers to the flowers. I'm a girl that likes bling, and I go through a lot of these. I do use snail to adhere the ribbon to the back of the card. It made working that a little easier. There you go. Here's our third project. Alrighty, our fourth project is one of the easier ones. It is a standard base card of 4.25 by 5.5. It's a top fold card. The matte layer using the Moroccan Designer Series paper is 4 by 5.25, and the Delightful Dijon, what I refer to as the image layer, starts out being 3.25 or 3.5 rather by 4.75. And you see here that we are adhering the matte layer using snail. We've already die cut using the botanical builder. We used the leaf and what I'll refer to as the vine layer, vine die. And then using a piece of very vanilla, we are going and using early espresso ink, we are going to stamp the leaf vines onto the very vanilla cardstock so that it shows through the die cut leaf, through the Delightful Dijon layer. Using some snail adhesive, we're going to adhere that together. And we use Stampin' Dimensionals to adhere the image layer to the matte layer. And I do try to figure out how I can apply some of this Emerald Envy ruched ribbon to it, and I do in a little bit. The card base is the Emerald Envy cardstock from our In Colors 2017-2018 In Color series. And here you can see I'm using every last bit of the Stampin' Dimensionals. Waste nothing, as I said earlier. Waste nothing. Using Thank You stamp from the One Big Meanie. Using the Early Espresso ink again. Just stamping. And then we're using the floral medallion to punch that sentiment to adhere to the card. So you see here I have some of our inkers, our edgers, just using the Early Espresso just to edge the sentiment layer. Just adds a little pop, makes it stand out a little bit. And I also use the clear Wink of Stella. I don't know if there's, I think I'm on week 5 of Stamp Set Sunday, and I think I've used it every week so far. So I use it just to highlight the letters, and then I go around the edges of the flower as well. Can't have too much glitter. That's my thoughts on the matter. Gotta have a little bling, gotta have a little glitter. Alright, so we're going to use some Stampin' Dimensionals. Using the last of those. And then I do cut a length of the Emerald Envy ruched ribbon. It probably is, I don't know, 4 or 5 inches long, just fold it in half there. And just adds a little something there. Then on the inside of the card, a 5 1/4 by 4 piece of Very Vanilla. Attached with snail. And then I just used the piece of the leaf that it was punched out, die cut out, and stamped the veins there. And there you have it. Alright, this last project is the table decor. Here I'm just using paper towel to create some water holder, and we're going to create a band for that using some Peekaboo Peach cardstock, our scalloped banner, the Peekaboo Peached ruched ribbon to tie that closed. You'll need your scoreboard and your bone folder. You're going to create a 1/4 inch. Going to score in 2 locations, which will differ depending upon what you use for. Some folks decorate their Thanksgiving table or Christmas tables using linen napkins. That will require a longer band. You could also call this a belly band. You'll just make it as long as you need. Use ribbon to tie it together. And we use some of the already cut out Here Pizzazz and Peekaboo Peach from the Botanical Builders. I already had them cut out. I cut out several as I was working through these projects using Peekaboo Peach ruched ribbon to tie this together. We use the fruit stand to create some of the leaves with the floral piece embellishment together using mini glue dots and rhinestones center. And there you have it. That is our final project for this week's Stamp Set Sunday. Thank you so much for joining me today on this episode of Stamp Set Sunday. Please visit me at memesartfulinspirations.com, where you will find a PDF of all 5 projects with more detailed sizes and instructions. If you have questions or have a stamp set you would like to see featured on an episode of Stamp Set Sunday, please leave your comments below or send me an email at brenda.labataglia@gmail.com. Thank you again for joining us on this episode of Stamp Set Sunday. We'll see you next week. Bye-bye now.